After more than 45 years, I'm back racing in the Masters V60 category over 200 and 400 metres. My first big goal is to dip beneath 60 seconds for the 400 metres, and then we'll see where we go from there. This is my training and competition diary, taking you through my sprinting life, warts and all. Greetings. This episode definitely falls into the warts and all category. I've been planning on doing this video for a number of months now, but I've been faffing about and prevaricating. But I was called into the doctors last week for my annual blood tests, and it kind of prompted me to just get on with things. When you see me flying up and down the track on my drone clips, I look in pretty good shape, but appearances can be deceptive, and this is my story. All through my childhood, my dad used to drum into us the need to keep fit, obsessively so. And I think I always considered it to be a superpower, rather arrogantly through my life. Even starting as young as when we joined our first track club. Then through all the years that I played tennis obsessively, did road cycling across the Alps and the Pyrenees, etc. obsessively. I always considered my health and fitness to be one of my superpowers. In early 2018, one day I was deep in the rabbit hole of YouTube watching random videos, and I came across Stephen Cousins' film of the Stalk 30 Ultra, and for whatever reason it appealed to me, and I thought I would train for that through the summer of that year. So myself and some mates from the local running club undertook the training through the summer months, and in October, late October that year, we turned up at the start line. At the same time, my wife had been encouraging me to go and take advantage of the free health checks you could get at work. And I thought, what better time to get this done? I can game the system. I could rock up after having trained for the Stalk 30 in the best shape of my life and walk away with perfect bill of health. So book that in for early November. This photo of us for finishing the Stalk 30 is one of my favourite photos, but it's also quite a poignant photo that of the four of us that finished, within 2 or 3 weeks of completing it, 2 of us would be told that we had either a chronic or a life-threatening condition. There was myself, and then was another mate whose gastric issues were so bad on the day that he went to see his doctor, and then they discovered he had early bowel cancer, which thankfully he's now in total remission from. But yeah, you can never know, do you, at the time, what the hell is just around the corner. So a week after the Stalk 30, I went off for my health check, confident in the knowledge that I was going to sail through. I was in the best shape of my life, been training for months, only to find myself 2 days later sitting in front of a cardiologist in London being told I had dangerously high blood pressure, that I'd be on medication for the rest of my life, and he was sending me off for a raft of tests to see what damage this has been doing to my body over the years as it had gone undiagnosed. When you've sailed through life thinking health and fitness is your superpower, to be suddenly sitting in front of a cardiologist is stressful. It was a very stressful period, I think it's safe to say. He made sure that I was put through every single test they had going to see what had been going on in my body over the years. I had ultrasound on my kidneys to see if they'd been damaged. I had a full CT scan to look at my coronary calcium score, which incidentally is eye-wateringly high. And over the months I had blood tests galore as they tried to get my blood pressure under control so I could move forward. If I reflect over the years, there were warning signs. Even as young as the age of 16. I was in Worthing Hospital one day having the top of my head stitched up, having somehow headbutted the top of a door frame. And they told me my blood pressure was high. I had health checks when I was up in Edinburgh one day and I was on an erg bike, and they told me my blood pressure was high when I was on the erg bike. And then my mother was put on blood pressure tablets around the age of 50 and told she'd be on them for life, even though she was and still is one of the fittest, healthiest human beings I've ever known. Eats like a rabbit. So yeah, there were signs. Did I take any notice of them? Did I do anything about them? No, I didn't. I just kind of brushed them off, thinking health and fitness was my superpower. And nothing like that would ever be an issue for me. Little did I know. From a training perspective, things haven't changed that much. I still actively train. I'm a lot more conscientious around my warm-up routine, making sure I spend as much time as I can warming up. You can't warm up enough. Even as a masters athlete, you can't warm up enough. If you've got some underlying health issues, warming up is even more important. But yeah, you can train within reason, but I would suggest if you think you've got any concerns at all about your health, you speak to a medical professional before you actually start doing any intense training. From a lifestyle point of view, there's obviously been some changes. I'm now on medication for the rest of my life, 2 blood pressure tablets and a statin every day. I get called in regularly to the doctors for blood tests. I take my blood pressure twice a week, twice a day, without fail, to keep an eye on things, and it's now hovering around the 120/70 mark, so I'm in the good range, not the perfect range, but in the good range, which I'm happy with. I cut back on my number of days in the office to keep my stress levels under control. I monitor my sleep religiously, so we're always in bed by 9, trying to get 8 or 9 hours sleep every night, because that is key to heart health. And the final big thing and the big change I made was giving up drink 4 years ago. That's helped with my blood pressure, it's brought it down even lower. It's helped with my quality of sleep, and it's helped with mental health. Without a doubt, giving up drink has made me less anxious and able to handle the kind of stresses of life and the stresses that a diagnosis like this brings you. So I'm going to wrap things up there. Our walk is just coming to an end. If any of the things I've talked about in this video have you concerned, please go and see your doctor. I'll put in the link in the show notes below to the Always Another Adventure YouTube video that he did with a cardiologist. You should absolutely watch that if you get the opportunity to. If you've got any questions at all, or you've got any comments, please feel free to leave them down below. I will try and respond to anyone who posts. I'm not a medical professional. I do something rather boring in financial services, so I can't give any advice or anything like that. I can only just tell you my story. But I would leave you with one question. Do you know what your blood pressure is? If the answer to that is no, please either go and see your doctor, or at least go to Boots, buy yourself a blood pressure monitor and test yourself a couple of times a week. I'll see you soon.